Is everybody creeped out now? We went a few minutes longer, but it was definitely worth it. Taco, I see you. Haven't seen you in forever. So, what do you guys think about Annabelle and these tours coming up? I think her next stop is in September, in Illinois. So it'll be curious to see what happens after she's there. And then I think she is in Kentucky in October for Scarefest. I actually have friends from the National Paranormal Society that do go to Scarefest and speak there. So it should be very interesting. You know what I've got? I know Danny, right? Danny's glad he wasn't in Gettysburg while she was there. But I did find that one TikTok of him with Annabelle. So I wanted you guys to see that, he did know what he was doing. It's crazy. I know I wouldn't go near her. Like, I'm curious about Annabelle. I'm curious about her, but I don't know that I'd want to be close to that case. And remember, if you guys were here for my stream before the show, we talked about how I saw a TikTok of them moving her, right? They were moving her from Gettysburg, putting her inside of literally a U-Haul van, and they had rolled her case out. Her case was covered. They picked up her case and were trying to put her in the van and tilted her cage. You guys saw in that video, she's sitting on a chair in that case. So when you're tilting that over, you're moving her. Like, you are moving her. I don't even know if I could find it. I should have saved it to show for the show. But yeah, like, you're moving her. Somebody's going to have to open the case or shake the case again to get her straight. And if you're shaking the case, you're going to piss her off. So who's going to take care of her now? Are they going to call John Zaffis out now to come and help handle Annabelle? I I don't know. Like, somebody's got to be watching her. It's going to be interesting. Call Kane. I'm dead. It's going to be very interesting.
And to be honest, completely honest with everyone here, I came home Sunday about 4 o'clock. Not here, but I went home. Um, we had a power outage still, and
Wow.
emergency services was still down. I'm gonna say until like 9 o'clock that night.
Wow. It was major. That visit to Gettysburg. And I was reading today, I totally forgot that she'd gone to, what was it, Eastern State Penitentiary. And they had talked about how the spirits there all got real quiet. That everybody that's normally there said it was like completely eerie how quiet it was because she was there.
Yeah. There was a lot of stuff that's still like after effect is still around the town. You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell something was there. You can tell something moved through the town. Things are getting back to normal, but there
Are
was
they ever really going to
people.
be normal? You know what I mean?
I wasn't supposed to even be like leaving for Baltimore that weekend because I had Rose's funeral, a streamer from on Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna stay up at the house in Gettysburg for a while, just because the house is on the path of the Union and Confederate soldiers going up to Gettysburg from the south. So I kind of wanted to see the fluctuations there.
To see.
That's what. Yeah, but I couldn't because the funeral from that streamer that passed away from O'Neill that was real popular.
Mm,
Popular was the same day
wow.
that I was supposed to be up there. So it's like I had to pick and choose. I know I choose right, but still it would have been kind of like it probably would have been life changing for me just to go like explore the town at night while she was there,
Yep.
especially by the orphanage. But like I said, everything was still out until probably like 8, 9 o'clock that night.
That's just crazy. I almost want to
So
go to Scarefest this year, but then at the same time, I'm like,
yeah, there was a lot of people who left. Honestly, there was a lot of shop owners who left. There was a lot of people, from what I heard and what I saw on Facebook and the Gettysburg community page. There was a lot of places shut down that weekend. So if
oh,
you went to Gettysburg, you probably wouldn't have had a full-on Gettysburg experience.
because some people were like, no, we're not going to be any part of this.
There was actually on Monday. If you walk through the town, there was a lot of blessings. After Annabelle left, there was a lot of blessings over the town, over houses. Any major road that van would have went down,
They were blessed it.
they were blessing it just to keep whatever evil out is out, and whatever evil that is already in Gettysburg, just keep it away
Try to keep everybody
from.
from mixing.
Yeah.
See, and that's just it. Like, there's been so much that has happened. I mean, I get it. They're going to take her on tour because the tour was promised, right? And they're saying that's what the Warrens wanted. It's what Dan would have wanted. But what's up, MC? I saw you earlier. Um, but it's one of those things. I think it took Dan, and Dan was her handler. Like, why are we still continuing to poke the bear? We've lost one of the most important people to the Warrens, right? In keeping Annabelle safe. I don't know who else was trained behind Dan to take care of Annabelle other than John Zaffis, right? Their nephew. But who else within Nesper is trained? And Tony, we hear more about Tony than we do the Warrens' daughter, right?
Yeah.
So what are we doing to protect not just Annabelle, but even all these artifacts that are out on tour?
I know. I know JD, and I don't know if you know who JD is.
Mm-mm.
JD was the cancer patient when Ed and Lorraine Warren came to his house when he was 13. I keep in touch with him. I met him through the Warrens. Um, he honestly thinks this is not what the Warrens wanted.
I don't
The
think it is
Warrens,
either. There's a reason why they put her in that box in that museum.
honestly, he's already said to me, because he is very close since came to his house. They've had many documentary series about his house. They had one movie about his house. And talking to him, he said it should have went to Zach. Annabelle should have went to Zach and went into that museum, or should have went someplace else. He agrees that it should be honestly, in the museum,
Mm-hmm.
or a museum, even
That's
next to
protected. Yeah,
Robert's cage,
it
even.
she should be. She should either be with John Zaffis, right,
Yes,
who is a family member of the Warrens, or
yes,
she needs to be with Zach. Like,
yes,
Zach's already got his museum and he's got his practices with it, right? I mean,
yeah,
I get they want to keep her in their museum. I totally get that. And it would have been fine to have taken some of the other artifacts
yes,
out, right?
yeah.
But to take Annabelle out on her own is just horrible. I know, right, Rocker? Like,
And
I feel like more, and I hate saying this, but I feel more like Tony is doing it for the attention and
yes,
doesn't really. I don't. I don't feel like he has got the true paranormal investigator spirit within him. Because if
no.
he did, that doll would still be in that museum, or he would have been like, "Hey Zach, come take her," or "Hey John, come take her." Like,
Hey
you've got
Zach,
to pass her
come
off to
with
somebody
her.
that's going to keep her safe. You can't even
I,
take pictures in Zach's museum. Like, come on.
I
Exactly,
feel
Candy.
I I feel like it should have been, hey Zach, come and take a lot of this haunted shit
Mm-hmm.
off my hands,
Mm-hmm.
including Annabelle.
Mm-hmm. And you know
To
what?
be
They could have
honest,
put Annabelle in her own room at Zach's museum and closed her off, right? Like, we don't need to see her or be, what's the word I'm looking for? We don't need to be introduced to her, but she needs to be someplace where it's safe.
yeah, and see, JD never even liked the fact that they made a movie about his case. He also doesn't like the attention. He doesn't like when people find out his government name, because in the documentary, in the movie, he was Rob. He was Robert. I think he was even Bobby
Or
in the
something.
movie. His character was named, but he never used his parents, and he still came with it. With it, they never used their legal names during that case, during
On
the documentary,
purpose.
because the reason is he didn't want the attention. His parents still own that property that funeral home used to sit on, but do they go in it? He hasn't been in it since they left 20 some years ago, since the
Wow.
Warrens investigated and did the blessings. He has not been in that house for years. Okay. and yet someone wants to come around and kind of like poke him again. And they made a second movie now off of his house. So they just people keep on poking him, and he just keeps on getting deeper and deeper in the hiding. He already deleted most of his social media from the
See,
last
and
time
what
we
I
talked.
don't get is like, people poking other people, like, and we've talked about this in my stream before, right?
Yeah.
People don't understand how serious this stuff gets and can be. And when we were talking like tonight in the show, we're talking about Annabelle. Like, we don't know what is around Annabelle. We don't know um what's possessed her, what's around her. We talked about demons like energy. They like possessing people.
Mhm.
They like doing all that kind of stuff. The problem becomes you're not respecting the fact that this is a haunted artifact. And it's not haunted in a sense that, you're going to have a spirit around all the time. Like, there's different haunted objects, right? You've got things like we talked about Robert the doll, we talked about Lily, we talked about Peggy. You have these things that look human that have drawn in these entities. This isn't something to be fucked around with. You've got people who have literally gone through trauma and had somebody bust their ass to get rid of this thing from their house that people are coming into. Oh, yeah, Patrick, I totally believe in aliens. They weren't my
Yep.
specialty coming into the paranormal world, but let me tell you something. I clearly believe that in the next couple of years, our government is going to come out and talk to us about stuff. If you guys aren't watching the latest documentaries and latest shows, look, I am addicted. Y'all know I love Skinwalker Ranch. I am now getting addicted to Blind Frog Ranch. I told you about that earlier. I am now addicted to Mount Wilson. There are places that Robert Bigelow owned and was investigating and doing experiments with for the Pentagon and the government for a reason. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Um, so my thing
Absolutely,
is,
Rocker.
and my thing is too, like Candy said, it's all about the money, but you're taking
Mm-hmm.
people's trauma, and like him living in a funeral home that was sold as a house, not even in the listing as a funeral home until I started asking questions when I got a hold of his house and the property it sits on now. But
You're asking
they,
him to relive
they
that
made
trauma every time you're bringing it up to him.
they made two movies off of it now.
That's
And it's like you
ridiculous.
guys, and they'll say, "Oh, we're only doing documenting the experiences in the beginning of it." No, you want the money. You want the
You
Hollywood.
want the
That's why the
money. Queen Lala, what's your question, honey? Put it in the chat. And I'm okay with you documenting stuff. I'm okay with you sharing information from a research perspective, right? We learn from these things, right? Now, if you're making these movies and it's benefiting him and the family, or it's benefiting future research, if it's benefiting somebody other than you getting rich, that's it. So, Queen Lala, Nesper, New England, I can't even remember what all stands for. But anyway, the New England Paranormal team that the Warrens started. So Tony Spirit is their son-in-law. He's married to their daughter. They are the ones that are responsible for the Warrens Museum and for Annabelle now. They had Dan Rivera was the lead investigator who trained under Lorraine and was trained to handle and bless Annabelle, just like John Zaffis, their nephew, right? So we are trusting at this point Tony Spira to handle Annabelle correctly. And I'm telling you, that video I saw today of them turning that box on the side to get in that van, those motherfuckers didn't know what they were doing. You're shaking up this doll. Somebody, Tony Spera
Right.
probably, is going to have to sit her straight in that chair for when she gets displayed next or when she gets back to the museum. I'm telling y'all, we are not done. We are not done with listening to stories of what Annabelle's going to be involved around. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Matt. The reason I asked is because it's so. I guess I'm on this really shitty phone. I'm lagging. Kraken's frozen. But Danny, you're fine.
I'm
So I
frozen
don't
because
know.
I'm the one sitting here talking
But
about the
that's-
paranormal tonight.
I know Candy's favorite. Who's Candy's
gotta-
favorite now? Thank you.
Right? Bitch.
That is my phone. But I got in the box because I couldn't type. Every time I tried to type, it was messing up, and this phone's awful. But just talking about the movies, with those movies coming out, it made her even more popular. So, oh, there you are. You're not frozen anymore. Oh no, I lied. I froze again. No, there you are. And
You won't kick now for cussing. I'm dead. We're out of featured show. We're in an after show. We can cuss now. We're good. I can cuss now. I can get it off my system.
But I think But I was trying to say was that, so now, of course they're going to, I see them doing the tour because she's so popular even to this day because of the Conjuring movies. They're going to make that money because people are going to show up.
Well, and there's still one more coming.
They want to see if it's anything like what the movie.
But here's the thing, like
they want to see if it's anything like the movies.
I'm okay with the Conjuring movies because we are talking about actual cases and they kept it straight to what happened, right? I am all for educating people in this field. All for it. Whether it's ghosts and hauntings, haunted locations, aliens, cryptids, ancient mysteries, whatever. I am all for educating the public, okay? I am not a horror film fan. I am not a slasher fan. But I am all for people learning about this because there are certain things, like what we're talking about with Annabelle, that we have to learn from and we have to be protected from. You've got people that really honestly are so stupid that they don't realize the shit that they get into, messing with a Ouija board, right? Going in and poking at ghosts, going in tapping on Annabelle's glass, right? So play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I hate saying that, but we need to educate people more. Now, you've got the Annabelle series of movies that, okay, that was great. We needed to learn the background behind Annabelle and how she came about. And I touched on it a little bit during the show tonight. We need to know about that kind of stuff because this isn't a joke, right? This is not a joke. This shit has been going on for years, for thousands of years, even back in different cultures, right? We can look at the Indians. They had their own thing, right? We can look at all of that kind of stuff. If you're making these movies just to get rich off of them, that's one thing. But if you're making them and that money's going back into, let's say, like everything with The Conjuring and Annabelle, if that money is going back into that museum to keep people trained on keeping that kind of stuff locked in, that's one thing. Or if it's going into, we used to the place out by Baker Hotel, we used to have it was a paranormal research center until Phil sold it, and now those people are profiting off of it. But if you're putting it into a paranormal research center for people like myself and Danny, those of us like Mikey and Rocker, and those of us that actually do this, right, that actually investigate, if you're putting it into a educational facility for us, that's another thing. But if you're doing it just to make money, like you were talking about JD, like that money should be going back to him and his family to keep that place protected or to educate people. That's where I don't get it. Haunted sells right now. Haunted sells right now.
And see the ending of his movie, A Haunting, because he does come from his house is the Haunting in Connecticut house. Okay, that docu-series it showed Warrens. Okay, in the movie, it ended with the cliffhanger, and then they had the second one come out. You don't see Ed or Lorraine Warren in any of them, in any of the movies that they're making off of his family. He has not even seen a dime from that.
Which is sad.
He can't ask for anything like he says, and he doesn't want to ask for anything. But he wanted it just like the documentary. He thought it would be more like the documentary until he saw it. Then when he saw it, he realized he literally paid $7 to go see his whole childhood get ruined again.
Well, and how traumatic was that for him to have to go through it again? And see, and the people that make these movies don't understand that he's going back through that trauma all over again.
Yep, and it didn't show anything about Ed or Lorraine Warren because, like the docu-series that the Discovery Channel, aka the Travel Channel, made, they actually had interviewed Lorraine and Ed Warren. Lorraine, I'm used to saying their names right together, Ed and Lorraine Warren, but Lorraine got interviewed for that movie, got interviewed for that docu-series that they made on the house. All the investigators that was there throughout that entire year got
because they
questioned
were doing a
and
documentary. They were documenting the facts of that case. And
yes,
that's what I don't get about like the movies now. Like I saw some movie was being advertised on a, so I got Philo so I could watch Skinwalker Ranch episodes and Blind Frog Ranch. So I'm stuck on all that, right? So they were and I don't remember what the
by
name,
the way, I
Sinners
did
I
buy
think,
them
or
today.
something like that. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm not into the horror shit. Like the paranormal is not horror. Shit can happen from it that's going to scar you and can be traumatic, but it's not horror. Blood and guts to me is not paranormal. Are you part of a UFO? So, Patrick, I run
I
the
don't like
National
blood and guts.
Paranormal Society of Texas. I am a senior director for the National Paranormal Society, and we do everything that I talk about on my show is what we cover for the paranormal. So, I am not into UFOs. I'm a paranormal investigator. I do all the stuff on the ghost side. Not part of MUFON. I'm not any of that. I am intrigued by UFOs and aliens. I wasn't until I became a part of NPS, but here lately, like a lot of the technology that we use, I do believe came from re-engineered technology from other beings. Just saying. Zombies aren't paranormal either. Patrick, I'm here every Sunday night with my show Into the Unknown. I do also have a podcast that I need to start recording my my episodes for. And you can find all my recorded shows and my podcast on YouTube under Kraken's Voice. Yeah, I'm right here. But there's just,
I
I
want to meet.
get easily defensive
I would like to meet
when
you
it
one
comes
day
to the
too.
paranormal because it's one of those things that you guys, until you have experienced something yourself, you don't even get it. Patrick, don't worry about if I'm single or not. I will be single till the day I die.
What does
but
that
I hear
have to
the
do with
baby.
anything?
And that has nothing to do with ghosts and spirits.
I was gonna say, speaking of the am I still coming through? Okay.
Yeah.
But
Wait, what? What logs? I'm so sorry. I just what?
oh god,
She gonna kick me. She can't well, she might
I'm
kick you, but she can't kick me from
confused.
here.
What did I do?
I don't know. What were you gonna
I'm trying
say?
to figure out what I did.
okay, I don't know.
Lugs is being lugs.
I'm just sitting here.
Lugs is being lugs.
I just don't know where it came from. I was like, what?
I'm dead.
But speaking of the Conjuring house, did y'all hear all the crap going on with that?
No.
With the Conjuring house?
About the lady and all about like, yeah,
I don't
So
think so.
it lost its license to be what it is. It's been going on for a while now. I know from Jason Hawes has said a lot about it, and other people. That lady's kind of gone crazy, and she started firing people because she said the ghost told them to, because the ghost said that they were stealing, and she got to the point where they called some people out there to like, oh, she got in trouble for not having it up to date, like safety